Live from YMSL Studios, welcome to the Dashless Report Week 7 recaps, the final regular season week, in the most arguably the greatest year in the history of the YMSL. To my left is NRJ from the playoff bound number 2 seed Alley-Oop organization, and from the once again non-playoff bound
now defunct
Douglas Dweck from the Cheesehead organization. Guys, Douglas, thanks for showing up under these conditions. I know it was very tough. We appreciate it.
Couldn't wiggle out of my network contract.
Yeah. Guys, what can we say about yesterday? First of all, the fact that the games even went off yesterday was an amazing story. Not the ideal weather conditions in the morning. A lot of guys helped to get the field in shape, and the last regular season week, I mean, we had 10 teams, all 10 teams, with a shot to make the playoffs going into the last regular season week. I don't think you can ask anything better than that, Norman.
Well, Bobby, first of all, it's such a pleasure to be here next to my good friend Douglas Dweck after another miserable YMSL season for him. Before we talk about what a great job the scorekeepers did on updating everybody on the scores, and what a great job the crews did getting the fields ready, because they really looked like garbage in the beginning. Before we talk about that, Douglas Dweck had a good morning, good afternoon, good night at bat against Robert from Bradley Beach. He struck out looking in game 1, and thus the beginning of his team's demise
Yes.
on the league's final regular season day. Doug?
I don't know what to say.
There you have it.
They have a lot of good sources.
The captain of the team went down looking against Red Nesser on 3 straight pitches.
I don't know if it was 3 straight pitches.
It was.
It was.
Oh, it was. 3 straight pitches.
How do you explain, Douglas, going into the final game of the regular season, a win would have got you in, and you were shut out by 63-year-old Robert Rednesser from Bradley Beach? I mean, really, how do you define that explanation?
You know, it was a mess of a day, to tell you the truth. It was like 6-0 really early in the first game. Well, this way. 6-0 really early in the first game. And, you know, we start getting word in from the other fields, because we know that winning started before us, you know. So all of a sudden you hear that winning won. Said, okay, this doesn't look so good. And then, you know, we go ahead and we lose that first game, and you're hoping maybe Maurice would win a game, so maybe the Killer Z's wouldn't care that much, or the Serial Killers wouldn't care that much. And then Maurice goes ahead and he loses the game. So now the Serial Killers are going nuts. They think they could get the bye. And, you know, the first game really was 6-0, then we got it a little bit closer. By the end of the game, it was 10-5. And we never really got it as close as maybe 3-4 runs. So, you know, that was really that in the first game. The second game was a great pitch game by Ike. And we had Jimmy Malach on third base early in the game, maybe in the second inning, 0-0. Albert Levy hits a short ball to Leo Petrota with 1 out. We send Jimmy home. He gets thrown out at the plate.
From Leo?
From Leo. And now these guys, and I know from the show, but I know also from their team, that they're just throwing guys out all over the place at home. So Leo threw him out at home. It was really close, but I think it was
rookie catcher has done an outstanding job, Ben Kane.
Yeah, I'm getting to him.
Yeah, and he had a big day offensively again.
Ben Kane, I thought was great. You know, and you got to realize something, that when you see the way they're playing, you get a little bit now. You know, you see Ben Kane scooping a ball up while Jimmy Malach, who's 3 times his size, bearing down on him, and it was a bang-bang play, and he still made the play, you know? So, like, they're really good defensively. Maxie Sutton at third. You have, you know, Henry at short, Lee at second base. Myers Safdie made every play at short center. Schomer was making diving catches at first till Elliot Patesh showed up. A.B. Cohen in center. Leo in left. Maurice Sasson in right. I mean, they're just making every play. So, defensively, they were great. So we're in this game with them anyway. It's 1-0. Now we'll just get to the last inning of basically our season on the line, and we already know what's going on in the other fields again. Like, all the news is bad. You know, teams that we need to lose are winning big. So it wasn't like a surprise to us that if we lost, we were out. We knew we were in big trouble, And now it's 1-0 top of the 7th. We're down to our last three at bats. I led off the inning with a walk. We had 2, 3, and 4 up. I led off the inning with a walk. Ike Mavora hit a line drive to second. Nobody moved. Stephen Gindley was running for me. Jimmy Malach hit a little dribbler to Maxey at third, and he threw high to Mario Safdie. So we had first and second, 1 out. Abraham Haber was up, who didn't have the greatest year, but that day was very good in the first game. So we moved him up in the lineup to put him up 5th. And he was hitting all day, but he popped up to the infield. So now we have 2 outs, first and second, and Jared's up. He gets a base hit. 1 hopper to A.B. Cohen, low line drive. Stephen Gindley's pretty quick. He's running really well around the bases. I'm coaching third. I have him coming home, and the throw's like a perfect throw. Maybe it's a foot up the line, but on a fly. So we hold him up.
Wow.
Hold him up. He would have been out at home. We asked the scorekeepers, the players on the other team. The season would have ended right there.
Right.
So basically, we know even if he scored, hopefully he could have scored, but he wouldn't have scored on that throw.
Okay.
Albert Levy comes up. Now bases loaded. A base hit hopefully would give us the lead, at least tie the game anyway. Ike Mavora's on second. He's pretty quick. First pitch from Red pops up. Maybe take a couple of pitches over there. Maybe he could walk you. He's not really going to put anything by you. He's got to be a little bit careful on with the 3 guys that are on. But he popped up. Mario Safdie went back on the ball. Made the catch, and that was the end of the game and the end of the season. So
it's just hard to believe with a roster with Stephen Gindley, who's a star, Ike Mavora, who's a top pitcher, with that roster, Jimmy Malach, who you're saying Red should watch out because the ball's going to land in exit 114.
Yes. Yes.
It's hard to believe with that roster that you couldn't get it together to even get into the last spot of the playoffs.
I agree.
Yeah.
I was up 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning this morning. I couldn't sleep. It's very, very, I don't know. It's very, very tough.
Yeah.
Well, it's very, very tough.
I know our viewers are happy about
it.
one thing. We don't have to get any more detailed recaps from you about your game. So
if anyone's link of the team rosters was disabled just now, Douglas gave you every person on the serial killers by position.
No, the serial killers are a good team.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's it. They have a good team. Red pitched really well, and we just didn't score.
Okay.
We just got an email from one of our viewers. Jack from Brooklyn says, "What are the chances that the 2 most hated franchises in sports got eliminated on the same day?
Right.
The Miami Heat and the Cheeseheads."
Cheesehead Nation.
I don't know. He doesn't put his last name, but
I don't know.
Cheesehead Nation is a dead nation.
The same level as LeBron.
I feel bad for guys like Mark Sabag. Keep all sharp objects away from him. He's a big Cheesehead Nation guy. But I don't know. That's just the way it is.
Now, Bobby, no one could be surprised that the Cheeseheads lost again. I think we all saw it coming. Terrible management, terrible team. But something that we were surprised with, well, most of us were surprised, was that winning won 3 games in a row. And Insane lost 3 more games in a row. And I want to remind our viewers of what one prognosticator predicted just last week. And Albert, if you will, just to remind our viewers real quick.
Right now we're out of time. Uninterrupted episode today. We don't have time for commercial break. Right. Our sponsors are not too happy with us, but
I have winning 3 games this week. Insane losing 3 games.
Wow.
There you have it.
You said that?
I said that.
I want to know the date of this
I
recording.
said that on the air last week.
that was today, a couple hours ago. Monday morning quarterback.
Yeah.
Thank you, Albert Towell.
Did excellent. He did make the right prediction, but it's ironic, like you mentioned. Really, no surprise. I think we all picked 2 to 3 teams we picked not to make the playoffs. It was Cheeseheads and Tiger Blood. I guess we're all wrong about Watch Out. We gave a lot higher expectations.
Should mention that if we had won a game, it wouldn't have even been winning that would have missed the playoffs. It would have been Insane, who was 7-1, that would have missed the playoffs.
I mean, a crazy topsy-turvy year. 2 weeks ago, they were 7-1, and yesterday they backed into the playoffs. And within if you won, they would have been eliminated. I mean, unbelievable. And I think we're trying to look up in the archives if anybody's actually gone into the playoffs on a 6-game losing streak.
I was wondering that also. I don't see how it's possible.
Usually you don't even get into the playoffs with 6 losses total. Now
Right,
they're walking
right.
in with a 6-game losing streak.
By
it's
the way,
mind-blowing.
Bob, at the end of week 4, Alley-Oop was in first place and we blew it. At the end of week 5, Insane was in first place and they blew it. At the end of week 6, Unfinished Business was in first place and then they blew it for the Dodgers
Yeah.
to end in first place. 4 weeks,
Yeah.
4 people atop this in.
Right.
We're going to go over all the playoff bound teams in a second. I mean, you know, whoever could have figured this out, you know, I mean, all of a sudden, the hottest team in the league, the most feared team right now, is probably Rip It and Grip It. I mean, coming in winning 7 out of 8. A.B. Saka, the lowest ERA in the league.
Wow.
Yeah, the last 3 weeks his ERA is like 2.5. I mean, he just the defense is outstanding. So they're coming in. Yedid, really no surprise with the bye. Alley-Oop rebounded to get the number 2 seed. I think that the biggest surprise has got to be Red and Killer Z's. I didn't have them being anything special. Serial Killers at the 3 seed, and Red defies all odds every year. It's amazing. I don't know how he does it.
It's always when a team also tells him that they're going to kill him that he really gets pumped up from that. It must be. He didn't give up a run this week. It's really unbelievable. It's unbelievable that this guy
shut
is
out
still
1-0
pitching.
in an almost meaningless game for them.
So Maurice Haber started the day at the number 1 seed, ends up at the number 5 seed. This is Rip It and Grip It is the 4th seed. Number 6 is the Winning. Who also needed to win just to get in. They end up with the 6th seed,
Right.
And the final seed is Insane. I mean, so, and really what that means, it means absolutely nothing with the new playoff format that we have this year, which
Right.
Douglas
Right.
created. So who knows who could play who? But the
Yeah,
truth
this
of
is,
the matter,
I'll tell you, this is a very exciting night because nobody really knows. We don't know. For the viewers out there, we have no idea who the number 2 team is going, which is yourself, which is Alley-Oop. You don't even know.
I have no idea.
Norman is on the team and he doesn't
I
even
have
know.
no idea.
They didn't ask you who you want to play?
Well, we all emailed each other yesterday after the game with different reasons why different people wanted to play different teams.
Okay.
And we had 3 and then basically 2 different teams that it was narrowed down to. And I texted Ali on my way home, on my way to the YMSL studios tonight, and he told me that he and Nathan and whoever else is deciding have not made a decision yet. So I honestly don't know. And you said you don't know either.
We definitely don't know.
Right. Now, they could pick the number 3 team.
Yes.
Right, which is Serial Killers,
Yes.
and then the number 4 team, which was Grip It and Rip It, they would end up picking someone to play. So, you know, hopefully there's someone around from that Grip It and Rip It team that's going to make that choice.
Like you said, the 2, 3, which is, I mean, this is the way it should be. You know, I mean, why should, if you finish the highest seed, really, you should really get your choice.
Right.
You know, and it's intriguing. I mean, now we're going to talk about who everybody thinks everybody's going to pick. I personally think, not knowing anything, that they're going to end up going with the Serial Killers, Alley, just for the fact that they you know, they have the thing that Red, you know, might be his age, it's easier to hit. And I think also number 7 is Mo Shama. They're probably.
I think those are the 2 teams that
Yeah.
we're looking at.
If I had to guess, I would guess that they're going to go with Insane. And I'm not saying that I agree with that, or I would pick that if I was the captain.
Well, they lost 6 in a row.
They're
I mean, how
floundering
could you
right
not
now.
pick a team that lost 6 in a row?
I mean, really, you know, but you also have that Mo Shama fact. His game gets elevated in the
100%.
playoffs to a different level.
By the way, we have to mention that during Insane's 3-game losing streak yesterday, Mo Shama was a non-factor. He couldn't play. He played in the first game barely, but he had like 101 or 102 fever, and I saw him. He looked terrible. He really looked very bad.
Yeah.
And he came up with the game on the line at the end of their first game against Jeffrey Saka, and he hit a shot that you would not see from Mo Shama in his lifetime. He hit like a ground ball to Jeffrey Saka on 1 bounce. And he couldn't even lift his head up, and he didn't play at all in the next 2 games
We're frozen.
with their season on the line.
Frozen, no one's watching. We're dropping